Lucas and Maya, seasoned hikers and thrill seekers, had explored many trails across the country. They prided themselves on their ability to navigate even the most daunting terrains. This time, they chose the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, drawn by the challenge and the chilling folklore that surrounded the area. The locals spoke in hushed tones about the wood devils, tall, gaunt creatures with glowing eyes that stalked the woods at night. Lucas and Maya, ever the skeptics, dismissed the tales as mere superstition. The first day of their hike was perfect. The weather was clear, the path was scenic, and they found an ideal spot to set up camp as dusk approached. They lit a small campfire, its flickering flames casting long shadows around them. As they sat by the fire, they couldn't help but talk about the local legends. Do you think there's any truth to the wood devil stories? Maya asked, poking at the fire with a stick. Lucas shrugged. I doubt it. Probably just a story to keep kids from wandering too far into the woods. The night deepened, and the forest grew eerily silent. The usual sounds of nocturnal animals were absent, replaced by an unsettling stillness. They decided to call it a night and retreated to their tent. Lucas awoke in the middle of the night, feeling an inexplicable sense of dread. The fire had died down to embers, and the darkness seemed to press in on them. He thought he heard faint whispers, like the rustling of leaves, but dismissed it as his imagination. The next morning, they continued their hike deeper into the forest. As the day wore on, they noticed the trees growing denser and the path less distinct. They consulted their map and compass, but something seemed off. The landscape seemed to shift, confusing their sense of direction. By late afternoon, the sun began to set, casting an orange glow through the trees. They realized they were lost. Lucas tried to mask his worry, but Maya could see the concern in his eyes. We should set up camp again and try to find our way in the morning, Maya suggested. Reluctantly, Lucas agreed. They found a small clearing and quickly set up their tent. The sense of being watched returned, stronger than before. As darkness fell, the whispers grew louder, more distinct. Lucas, do you hear that? Maya asked, her voice trembling. He nodded, scanning the dark forest. Stay close, he whispered, grabbing a flashlight. The beam of light cut through the darkness, but it seemed to make the shadows even more menacing. Then, they saw it, a pair of glowing red eyes in the distance, followed by another, and another. Tall, gaunt figures emerged from the shadows, their movements unnaturally fluid. The wood devils, Maya gasped, clutching Lucas's arm. Run! Lucas shouted, pulling her along. They fled through the forest, the creatures in pursuit. The woods seemed to conspire against them, branches snagging their clothes and roots tripping their steps. Breathless and panicked, they stumbled into a narrow ravine. The wood devils were closing in, their eyes glowing malevolently in the darkness. Lucas grabbed a large branch, brandishing it as a weapon. "We won't go down without a fight," he said defiantly. The creatures circled them, their whispers growing louder, echoing through the ravine. As one lunged at them, Lucas swung the branch, but it passed through the creature as if it were made of smoke. The wood devils moved with supernatural speed, surrounding them completely. In a final, desperate attempt, Maya screamed, hoping someone, anyone, might hear them. But the forest remained silent, swallowing her cries. The wood devils advanced, their intentions clear. By morning, the Pine Barrens were quiet once more. Lucas and Maya were gone, their campsite abandoned. The wood devils had returned to their shadows, waiting for the next pair of unwitting adventurers to enter their domain. The legends of the Pine Barrens grew, whispered warnings to those who dared to explore the haunted woods. The Pine Barrens stood as a testament to the horrors lurking just beyond the edge of civilization, where the wood devils waited, ever hungry for their next prey.